So, you live in Wareham and you have a dog. You already know that having a great four-legged friend makes life here even better. But to really enjoy everything our town has to offer, you need a great trainer. This guide is all about helping you find that perfect match for you and your pup. Having a well-behaved dog is what makes all the difference, right? We're talking about being able to take those relaxed walks through historic onset, even when it's packed in the summer, or just having a peaceful day down by the water. The right training really sets you up for that kind of success in our unique town. Okay, so where do we even begin? Well, before you start looking up names and numbers, it's really helpful to know what you're looking for. The foundation of any good training, and honestly, a great relationship with your dog, is the training method itself. At the heart of all modern, effective dog training is something called positive reinforcement. It's the approach that pretty much every veterinarian and behavior professional recommends. And the idea is actually pretty simple. Instead of just correcting your dog when they do something wrong, you're actively teaching and rewarding them for getting it right. This builds their confidence and makes your bond so much stronger. This slide really breaks it all down. You want to be on the lookout for trainers who use reward-based methods and focus on building trust. And you absolutely want to steer clear of anyone who relies on fear, intimidation, or tools that are designed to cause pain or discomfort. Think of it this way. Modern training is about communication, not confrontation. All right, so now you know what kind of training philosophy you're looking for. But how do you find a trainer who actually puts it into practice? Let's get into the nitty-gritty of how to evaluate a trainer right here in the Wareham area. Now, Massachusetts doesn't actually require dog trainers to be licensed, which makes these certifications even more important. A CPD-TKA or a KPA-CTP tells you that the trainer has a solid foundation in modern, science-backed methods. And hey, if you're dealing with more complex issues like serious anxiety or aggression, you'll want to look for those specialized credentials like the CBC-CKA or the IABC-CDBC. Of course, we have to talk about budget. These numbers should give you a realistic idea of what to expect for training costs in Wareham and around Plymouth County. It really helps to think of this as an investment in your dog's future well-being, one that can save you from much more expensive or stressful problems down the road. So which way should you go? Group classes or private lessons? Well, group classes are awesome for practicing around other dogs, and they're easier on the wallet, but you won't get as much one-on-one attention. Private lessons, on the other hand, are completely tailored to your dog and can deal with issues happening right in your living room, though they do cost more per session. The right choice really just comes down to your dog's personality and what you're hoping to achieve. Okay, you've narrowed it down to a few potential trainers. Now comes the consultation call. Being ready with the right questions is how you go from hoping you found the right person to knowing you have. First things first, you want to hear them talk about their philosophy. This question gets right to the point. It confirms whether their methods line up with that positive, humane approach we talked about. You want to listen for phrases like reward-based, force-free, and science-based. Next up, ask them about their background. This connects right back to those certifications we just saw. A really great trainer never stops learning. When you ask about continuing education, it shows you're serious about finding someone who stays up to date on the latest in animal behavior science. This is a big one. You're looking for a personalized approach. A cookie-cutter plan just doesn't work for dogs. You need a trainer who listens to your specific goals, whether that's having a calm walk along the Cape Cod Canal or just being able to answer the door without a barking frenzy. This question is so important, especially if you're dealing with things like anxiety or sudden aggression. A trainer who is willing to work with your vet, that's the sign of a true professional. It shows they get that some behaviors can be tied to health issues. And finally, remember that training is a team sport. Asking this question helps set clear expectations about your role in the process. A good trainer will give you homework because the practice you put in between sessions is what really makes all the new skills stick. So once you've picked your trainer and you get started, you'll need to know the local rules of the road and the best places to practice. Let's cover the specifics of being a responsible dog owner right here in Wareham. The most basic and important rule is the leash law. Simple as that. Unless you're in a specifically designated off-leash area, your dog needs to be on a leash and under your control. This is for everyone's safety, and honestly, it's a key skill to work on. Here are the other key things to know. A rabies vaccine is required by state law, and that tag has to be on your dog's collar. Here's an interesting local fact. The town of Wareham doesn't require a separate dog license. Also, be aware that there's a town bylaw against nuisance barking, which is another great reason why training is so helpful. Okay, now for the fun part, getting out there and practicing. These local spots are perfect training grounds. The Tremont Nail Factory Dog Park is your go-to for safe off-leash practice. The canal is fantastic for working on calmly passing by joggers and bikes, and Onset Beach during the off-season. It offers a whole new world of sights and sounds for your dog to get comfortable with. Finding the right trainer is really the first step toward a more relaxed and enjoyable life with your dog here in Wareham. It means you can have guests over without chaos, enjoy those quiet walks through the neighborhood, and explore every beautiful spot our town has to offer together. Good luck with your training journey.